This episode is about low effort content ideas that you can use for a newsletter. This episode is specifically about newsletters, but honestly, it applies to lots of different media. You could do it for TikTok, you could do it for Instagram. If you've been wanting to start a Facebook page, you could do it for that. You could do it for anything, but I'm going to make this one specifically about newsletters and use different newsletters as examples. And it's just low effort ideas, ones that are easy to operate, easy to get content for, that you can just keep running and that people will like. And that's what this episode 190 of the Edward Show, legendary 190 of the Edward Show, is about. That's what this episode is about. I'm going to start by giving the example. I've talked about this newsletter before. Sean Puri, co-host of the My First Million podcast, one of my favorite podcasts. I am subscribed to his newsletter. It's called Small Boy. And every week, this is basically what his newsletter is. Every week, he does something called 5 Tweet Tuesday. And he just shares his 5 favorite tweets and gives 1 or 2 sentences of commentary, personal commentary on each tweet. And that's it. And it's pretty easy to find content because the algorithm shows him stuff that he might like. He looks at tweets that have a high ratio of views to follows. So if an account shared it and the account has, 10,000 followers, but the tweet has 1 million views, well, that's viral content. That's content that is validated by the public. That is content that the public likes, and he can share that. Or if it's just something he genuinely finds fascinating, he can share that too. And people are subscribed to this because they like Sean, they like his podcast, they respect his opinion, and it's an easy way to get top of mind awareness into people's emails every week. Very easy. Just scroll Twitter, find the 5 things you like, give a sentence or 2 of commentary, and that's it. And I think that's great. There's another newsletter that I'm subscribed to. It's called First 1000, and I've read some of its early issues on the show. And it originally was about how companies got their first 1,000 customers and users. But now it is about CRO, conversion rate optimization. And I think that is because profiling companies and finding out how they got their starts is a lot of work, and it's very hard. And what this newsletter does now is a lot easier. It takes different sites, different landing pages, and compares them to one another. Now, I gotta respect it though, because there are some issues where there is like a lot of work. I'm like, wow, how did he learn all of that? And he really goes back in Wayback Machine and he looks, okay, this is what it looked like in February. This is what it looked like the previous July. This is what it looked like January before that. And then he does that and compares. He might show how pages are iterating, and then he'll tie that to different conversion rate optimization lessons from other websites or other apps. Or he might just compare 2 landing pages against each other. Which one converts more? It's actually this one. But the comparison idea is something that can be very low effort. If you're an expert in any field, in any vertical, you can just, for a newsletter, maybe it's a weekly newsletter, you just compare 2 different products to one another, 2 different strategies. Okay, SEO. I talk about SEO, search engine optimization, a lot. What could I do? Just off the top of my head, I compare different SEO products. I compare different SEO strategies. I compare different websites in the same niche. I compare different pages on a single website. And the list can go on. And the comparison thing is a very low effort thing that can be done, that can also make for interesting content, especially when you are an expert. I want to return back to the Sean Puri strategy, because the Sean Puri strategy it's not just with Twitter, where he's taking the 5 best tweets that he sees every week. You could do that with Instagram. Take the 5 best Instagram posts. Take the 5 best Reddit posts. So I actually think I'm going to do this with some of my brands. We have an EdTech. We have an education technology product. Take the 5 best tweets about EdTech from each week and share them in a newsletter, because we have so many emails over the years. I think we have maybe 300,000 we are not making use of. Oh gosh, it's going to be good. That's an easy idea, whatever it is. And then you just an easy way to turn out content every week. I have a weekly newsletter, edwardsturm.com/newsletter. I share growth hacks, things that I'm learning, case studies. And honestly, I could take this advice myself. I spend so much time on this newsletter coming up with unique and informative and insightful weekly posts. This is an easy way to do it. And it sounds lazy, and people, you might listen and be like, oh, well, that just sounds so bad, so lazy. But if you're getting content that is validated by high public opinion, people are going to enjoy it regardless. And I shared this in last Sunday's newsletter. A lot of the viral content out there hasn't been seen by everybody. There's many people who haven't seen Gangnam Style. I meet people who don't know who Mr. Beast is. I didn't hear of T-Series, the most subscribed to YouTube channel in the world, until a month or two ago. And I hadn't seen any of their videos, even though their videos total 283 billion views. It's a big market. And when you give your commentary on the pieces of content that you're sharing, you put a unique spin on those pieces of content. And so it's a strategy that I really respect. It sounds lazy and it sounds easy, and it is easy. And instead of lazy, I'm going to call it smart. And that's what this podcast is about. Smart things that are easy, that can give high results. And if you want to have a good newsletter, but you don't want to put that much effort into it, this is a lane that you can take. You can do it every week. Do it every week. Super easy. And you'll be shocked at where you are in 2 years after you started. I'm going to end episode 190 with something that I say all the time, but I haven't said in a while on this show. Everybody overestimates what they can do in 2 weeks, and everybody underestimates what they can do in 2 years. I can't believe it's only been a year and 2 months for me since I started posting TikToks daily and coming out of the darkness to make this personal brand that I've somehow made. I can't believe how far I've come. It's weird. It is weird to me. And anybody can do it. And that's why I have this show, because anybody can do it. And I like to share how. I like to share the things that I'm learning, the things that I'm passionate about, because I don't just take these lessons and apply them to my own brand. I take them and use them across all of my companies, just like I talked about in yesterday's episode. And like I'm talking about in this episode, probably do one of these strategies. All right. I hope if you are considering starting a brand and you don't know what content to use, this episode helps you. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.